Welcome to Inner Light. I'm Amy Steinberg, so blessed and honored to be with you today. I wanted to open with a song that you probably know, and if you don't, you can learn it now. It goes like this. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the One. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the One. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. That's the whole thing. Sing it with me. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the One. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the One. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. Let's do it one more time. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the One. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the One. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. I am
Thank you. Thank you, Amy, for that musical inspiration. That's Amy Steinberg. Yes, welcome, everyone. I am Reverend Deborah Johnson, and this is Inner Light Ministries. We are so pleased to have you with us, regardless of when it is that you're tuning in, regardless of the day, the time, the location where you are. We know that it is the right time. It's the right time. And we're here together as spiritual community. We're not fooled by the appearances. The one, the only thing that is, expresses itself in multiplicity, variety, diversity. But it's still the one. So even as you are a unique emanation of the only thing that is, we are still all connected and one with the source, brothers and sisters in spirit. There's nothing that you can do to earn that. There's nothing that you can do to alienate yourself from that. We come here for a transcendent view. We come here to move beyond the rancor and the public discourse that would pull us into negativity or to separation. We come here to remember the truth that we are all spiritual beings, that we are all brothers and sisters in the divine, whether we like it or not. It's still the truth. So we come here to call upon the connections, the compassion, the willingness to rise above, to not get stuck. We don't get stuck. We're always moving to the next. Nature never gets stalled. It's always ready for whatever that next iteration is. It's not holding on to everything that has been. Of course, it's informed by it. The tree has its roots. The tree knows what kind of tree it is. It's going to bear the fruit that is in alignment with the kinds of seeds that it is. but it's not trying to replicate another tree. It's not trying to duplicate any place that it's been before. It's always ready for whatever is new and right for it then. That's our charge here at Inner Light, is to help build our capacities, to help build our intent to be what it is that we are ordained to be, to look beyond the appearances and know that each and every person has a reason for being. That includes you. You don't even have to know what it is, but just say yes to it, as we're going to be talking about today. The only thing that's needed is your willingness. Just your willingness. Can you imagine that? You don't have to fix everything. You don't have to know everything. You don't have to make everything right. You don't have to convince everybody else that you are right. All you have to do is be willing for right action to express itself in your life, in, through, and as you. We're going to be talking about that today. At Inner Light, we provide tools for living that encourage the practical application of universal spiritual principles to all of life's circumstances, all of it. I often say that our biggest spiritual malpractice is just inconsistency. Just inconsistency. We start, we stop. Or we're too narrow in our application. Like, oh, yeah, I'll try this for my health, but this is the mortgage, this is the rent. Or, yeah, I think I can try this in my personal relationships. Oh, but this is politics. Oh, this is big. Same stuff. Same stuff. Doesn't matter. There's not a different gravity for a tennis ball than there is for a rocket ship. Same stuff. It's just different applications of the same thing. So as you're with us today, I want you to be thinking about what are the different ways you can be applying this? How can you apply it in your personal life? How can you apply it in your finances? How can you apply this in your relationships? How can you apply this in your social political activities, the causes and work, community service or justice work that you're involved in, environmental things? How can you apply this at levels that appear to be big and small, and stretch yourself? Okay, stretch yourself. There's some areas where you've already demonstrated everything that I'm saying. You've already done it. You've already done it. Okay. So now what we're going to do is you're going to take that which it is that you know and apply it to more and more things. That's what we're going to be doing. At Inner Light, we offer you tools for living. These tools that are about universal spiritual principles in all of life circumstances. Okay, they're going to be true across culture, tradition, time. You don't have to be anybody in particular. You don't have to know anything in particular. They're going to work for you. For you. One of the tools that we offer you every week are affirmative activations. These are 100 words, 100 words to shift your perspective, 100 words to recalibrate you, 100 words to have you resonate at higher and higher frequencies that are reflective of the truth of your spirituality. They are precepts, they are principles, they are practices, they are processes, they are paradigms. They're all of that and so much more. And if you dare to use them, just come back, say them, embody them. If you dare to use them, I guarantee that they will make a difference in your life. So, if you are able to, I invite you to say these affirmative activations with me as they appear on your screen. Our topic today is always guided by the inner voice. My inner voice speaks to me always, guiding my steps and directing my path. It tells me what to do in that very moment. No longer do I hesitate or procrastinate. I move on the impulse immediately without rationalizing it away. I never regret following my inner voice, for it is forever plain when I don't. I have the courage to follow yes when the destination is not clear. I don't have to know where I'm going to know I'm headed in the right direction. Yes whispers in my soul, wanting only my highest and my best. Just breathe that in. And I'm going to invite Amy Steinberg to come back and give us a musical offering to help cultivate our consciousness for the message.
This is yes. I say yes to the goodness. I say yes to love. I say yes to abundance raining down from up above. I say yes. I say yes. I say yes. I say yes to forgiveness. I say yes to God. I say yes to the moment bringing me such positive thoughts. I say yes. I say yes. I say yes. Sometimes I say no to the darkness, to the fear, no to the voices that scream about despair. I say yes to the glory, to the light, yes to the voices that sing out with might. They sing yes, we sing yes, we say yes. I say yes to surrender. I say yes to grace. I say yes to the beloved looking back at me when we're face to face. I say yes to acceptance and yes to faith. I say yes to the lessons I'm learning how to grow through all the pain. I say yes. I say yes. I say yes. But no to the darkness, no to the fear, no to the voices that scream about despair. I say yes to the glory, to the light, yes to the voices that sing out with my voice. Say no to depression, to the rant, no to the voices that tell me that I can't. I say yes to authentic, to the truth, and yes to the laughter, yes to you. I say yes, I say yes, I say yes. See, I just wanna live in a joyful world. I just wanna live in a joyful world. I just wanna live in a joyful world. I just wanna be a happy girl. I just wanna live in a joyful world. I just wanna be a happy girl. I say yes to love, to joy, to peace, and yes to happiness. Yes to love, to joy, to peace, and yes to happiness. Yes. I say yes.
Just say yes. For sure, for sure. Thank you, Amy. Let's just breathe that in. Our topic today is always, always guided by an inner voice, an inner wisdom. We are always guided by an inner voice and an inner wisdom. And sometimes we make the mistake and think that the universe is not communicating with us. Sometimes we think that we've been abandoned or we've just been like left out to dry on our own. It is never the case. The only question is, are we listening? It's not that God isn't speaking. It's, are we listening? We talk about universal spiritual principles here. This inner guidance is like all of the other spiritual principles. There's never a time when there's no music. There's never a time when love ceases to exist. There's never a time when beauty is wiped off the face of the earth. There's never a time when joy ceases to exist. It's just simply a matter of, are we tuned into it? Okay, are we tuned into it? Are we listening to it? Are we hearing it? Are we seeing it? It doesn't magically appear and then go away. I always find it interesting when we hit upon things that we know in our heart are the truth. One of the things that strikes us is that it was up under our nose all the time. Wasn't necessarily some big, massive discovery. We don't just find it in some book or some far off doctrine or dogma of some kind. You know, it's the truth when there's something that resonates inside. You know, it's the truth when it's just, and you exhale. Okay. It doesn't mean you're going to like it. Like, the truth will set you free. First, it may piss you off. Okay. But you can't deny it. Even when you wish it was another truth. I don't know how many times I prayed for the truth. And I get, and it's like, oh, no, God, not that truth. Can you, do you have another truth? No, not that. No, that's not the one. That's not the one I was asking for. I know you've heard that saying, you better watch what you pray for. Because it may come to pass. I don't know why I'm laughing, because all of a sudden I'm thinking about this joke that we used to tell in ministerial school about this man who was 50 years old. And his wife was also 50 years old. They had been together for 25 years. Wonderful marriage. He was just kind of bored. So he gets the genie that lets him make a wish, and he can have anything that he wishes for. And he explains, he loves his wife, and, nothing that he really is dissatisfied with, but he's just getting a little bored. And he would just like to see what it might be like to be in a relationship with somebody half his age. Boom. Next minute, he's 100. And he's still with somebody, and he's with somebody who's half his age. And it was the same person he was with before. He's the one that shifted and changed. We always have this inner guidance. One of the things that I've noticed about most people is being a spiritual counselor for decades, is how often we resonate with concepts in the negative. Somehow or another, we can see that more than we can see the positive. if you ask somebody, for example, well, what do you want? They may not be able to articulate what they do want, but they can usually give you a good litany of what they don't want. I've noticed that sometimes when I'm trying to get people to understand spiritual qualities and how they work, I have to take this backdoor approach, which I'm going to be doing with you now, where we look at it from the opposite first. And I do that because I know you know that. See, in my style, I don't try to teach you things that you don't already know. I look for that place where you already know, to give you some place where you can stand and then just apply this a little bit deeper, apply it to yet something else. But you can't stand on my knowledge. You can only stand on your own knowledge. When we're talking about always being guided by this inner voice, if you think about it, I'm sure each and every one of you has those moments. In hindsight, when you can say definitively, something tried to tell me and I didn't pay attention. Something in my gut, a little voice, something told me, is another word for God. Something told me. And you know, every time you go against something told me, it never is a pleasant experience on the other side. You'll recover, you'll get over it. Maybe a little detour, take you a little longer. There's always resilience. But in that moment, you will know, oh, that's why I was supposed to call so-and-so. Oh, that's why I was supposed to check into this. Oh, that's why I was supposed to wait. Oh, yeah. You know, we even have a saying that hindsight is 2020. Okay. And that hindsight 2020 isn't just that it became clear to you later, but on your reflection, you knew that there was something inside that was talking to you and guiding you. We have to learn to trust that, to trust it. Sometimes we get confused and we're not really sure if that's our voice or if it's the spirit voice. And we get very confused because the spirit voice will sound like your voice. This is like when we try to teach kids to have a conscience about something. And we'll question them, like, what were you thinking? What were you thinking? You know, didn't it occur to you that maybe this wasn't such a good idea? Did you think about the long-term like ramifications of this? Because we know that there really is some kind of internal dialogue going on within them. And we're wanting them to have the discerning spirit to know what to listen to and what to tune into. Well, I tell you what I've learned through the years about being able to make these distinctions between what's the spirit voice and kind of like what's my own stuff or the stuff of the world. The inner guidance is never fearful. Listen to what I'm saying. The inner guidance is never fearful. It is never coming from a whole bunch of a litany and analysis of all of the bad things, all of the things that can go wrong. It's not beating you up. It's not beating anybody else up. It's not panicky. It's calm. Sometimes it's firmer than others. Have you ever had those experiences where you feel like you just missed a brush with death? Whatever. Maybe you were driving in a car, or you were a passenger in some kind of a vehicle. And particularly like if you are a driver, maybe let's just say, for example, it's an intersection. And there's something inside you, you don't know what, but something just says, wait. You can't even process it as wait, but you just hesitate a fraction of a second. And just that fraction of a second was enough to prevent you from being hit by an oncoming car. Maybe there was a conversation that you were in, and some assumption that you were going to make, something that was about to come out your mouth. And something was like, zip it. And you didn't say it. You don't even know why you didn't say it, because it was certainly something you had intended to say. And then you were just so grateful that you didn't. And we'll joke about that. Things like, boy, I just got thrown a lifeline, or Spirit threw me a bone, or something stopped me and prevented me from doing that. We have these experiences, and I know that you have these experiences. It's an inner guidance. Okay, that voice is not panicky. It's not, "Ooh, don't go into that intersection. Could it be going to that intersection? You're going to get hit." Wait. Don't go. No drama. No fuss. No extra bells and whistles and things. And I think we miss that sometimes, because we're so used to a lot of razzmatazz and neon signs and all of the rest of that. No. So that's one way of recognizing that it's drama-free. And if your inner voice that you're listening to is coming up with a lot of sagas and contrast and comparisons and what ifs, that's you. That's you. Okay. Because your inner guidance ain't worried about all of that. It'll just be, go here. Well, I don't want to go over there because, I've been hurt over there. Go there. But why should I go over there? Because it looks a whole lot better over here. Go there. But if I go over there, I'm not going to have enough, and everybody's going to know that, and I'm going to fail. Go there. This is the other part of that inner voice. It is stubbornly consistent. It's consistent. If you don't listen the first time, it'll come back the second time, the third time, the fourth time, the 15th time, the 115th time. Year 1, year 10, year 20, year 25, year 50. It has no statute of limitations. It has no expiration dates. Its truth is going to be relevant whenever it is that you decide to listen. And that's one of the things that I love about that inner voice, because you can never really mess up. You can't really mess up. if there's some place that you're supposed to go, it's like the universe has a GPS on you. You may not know where you are, but you're never lost. You're not, the GPS always knows where you are. And just like this system that's tracking you, the GPS system, it's actually military stuff that we've repurposed, like so much of our technology these days. That satellite that's tracking you isn't like around you, it's beaming all the way from space. There's kind of like that with this inner guidance, that I don't know the place from which the guidance comes. It may not be just like around here in your proximity, but as sure as the GPS can tell you in that moment, stay left, go past this stoplight, and then turn at the next one. The GPS will tell you a little bit ahead of time, 2 miles, take this left. It'll give you more direction as you get a little bit closer to it. And if you miss it, you didn't take that left, it doesn't beat you up. It doesn't judge you. It doesn't tell you how stupid you were, how many mistakes you've made, what's wrong with you. It doesn't do all that. Rerouting. That's it. It just will give you new directions from where you are now. It's not going to try to send you back to where you were before to correct that mistake. Listen to what I'm saying. Because too many of us get stuck in that consciousness. Like, I should have turned left in that relationship. I should have turned left in that career. There's something that I didn't do. And many times we're trying to like go back in time and get a do-over to do it again. You don't need to go back to get the do-over. That's not what you need. You will be redirected. Now, if the redirection takes you back to there, then so be it. If it takes you back to there, then that just means that there's something that didn't get completed there. Okay, listen to what I'm saying. The direction will take you to where you need to be. Sometimes that's back to where you were, but not necessarily back to the spot where you didn't make the right turn. Like all the way back. If we were talking about the hero's journey, for example, the hero's journey is this paradigm where we get the call and we go out to some foreign land. You wind up facing the dragons or the demons or whatever that is. And you're getting your courage along the way as you're facing all of these obstacles and all these things, and you slay the dragons, you get your power, and then you come back home. You come back and restore the kingdom, the queendom, whatever. Okay, it's all the way back. So our healing journeys may, in fact, take us back to the very place that we first started from, so to speak. But along that journey, it's not going to keep taking you back where you should have turned left at that tree. Well, you should have done this over there. Within the drama of it, within the motion of it, you'll just be rerouted to wherever it is that you need to be in that situation to wind up wherever it is that you're supposed to go. But there's an inner voice that's directing you. There's an inner voice that's guiding you. Another thing about this inner voice is that it typically will take you outside of your comfort zone. It will ask you to do things that you may not even consider to be possible, or at least not probable. It may advise you to include people, places, and things that you can't quite understand where do they fit into the picture, and why should I be doing that? You can spend all of your time analyzing that, and that's what most of us do. We spend more of our time questioning the advice. Well, why do I need to do that? And I confess, in my own life right now, it is my spiritual practice to pay attention to when I'm arguing with the inner guidance. Some people still rib me about it today. In one of my sermons not too long ago, I was using a simple example of this, where something might say, take your umbrella. And this is literally what I will do. I may go outside, look at the sky. Does it look like rain? Take your umbrella. I'll go to my phone. I'll look up the weather to see whether or not it's supposed to rain. And heaven forbid it should give probabilities like 40% or 50%. And then I'm like hedging in my mind, is it really going to rain or not? Something keeps saying, take the umbrella. Then if I'm really getting into the argument, I'm coming up with what my remedies are going to be if it rains and I don't have the umbrella. Listen to this. I'm already contemplating what my alternatives will be to rectify the fallout from not following the guidance. Well, look at what I'm wearing. Is it okay if that got wet? Well, I could always take the coat, like put it over my head, get all of this stuff going on. I could just take the freaking umbrella. Just take the umbrella. Just take it. And what I find is that it will become clear later. You can't always know in that moment. That inner voice doesn't give you all the wherefores and the whys and how it's all going to work. Like, you have to follow the breadcrumbs and just do what is before you in that moment. And I found a lot of times in my life, if I were to continue with that example, say, of the umbrella, maybe it doesn't rain that day. But there does come that day in the not so distant future when that umbrella came in handy. Because it did rain when I wasn't anticipating it. But I already had the umbrella. You don't know what that inner voice is doing. But like I said, my practice now is becoming more consciously aware of when I'm saying no, when I'm arguing with it, when I'm trying to figure out all the reasons why I don't have to do this now, all of the reasons why I could do this another way. But right now, I'm just in stop. It doesn't matter whether I know it or understand it. Just do it. Often what I find with this is that it's kind of like bait and switch, where the guidance is telling us to do one thing and we're resisting that, but it's not about that thing. It's about another thing, but we'll never know that until we do the first thing. It could be something simple like, I don't know, maybe there's something in my house. Let's just say a sweater or something that's thrown on a chair in some corner that I don't even pay that much attention to. And something keeps saying, hang up that sweater. And I'm like, okay, I'll hang it up later. Don't hang it up then. Hang up that sweater. Hang up that sweater. And lo and behold, when I do hang up the sweater, in the pocket are some keys that I was looking for, or underneath the sweater, or I don't know, the glasses, the case to some glasses, sunglasses or something like that. It wasn't about the sweater. Do you get what I'm saying? But until I did what I was being told about the sweater, I wouldn't have found the next thing. Sometimes I use the metaphor of doors. Like, the good that you seek is door number 2 or door number 3. But you can't get to door number 3 because you haven't gone through door number 1. You haven't gone through that door. And because of all of the resistance that we have going through that door, we can't get the blessings of the other ones. I know you know what I'm talking about. And we'll see it in hindsight. Like, oh, yeah, if I had gone over there, I would have met so-and-so. That's why I needed to go to that party I didn't want to go to. Oh, well. Oh, if I had actually spoken to so-and-so, I'd have known that that thing was canceled, that I wasted my time going to. But I didn't want to talk to so-and-so, even though something clearly was saying, check in with them. There'll be all of these instances. I used to want to do things my way, just so I had a sense of agency, even if it wasn't the right way. Just, can I do it my way? There's a line in one of my books, The Sacred Yes, these spirit downloads that talk about this, where spirit's mimicking me in this and talking about how I'll do this sometimes. Like, God, can't you just go along with my plan? Even if it's not the right plan or the good plan, can't you just go along with it sometimes? And the voice comes back and says, no, I can't. It says, I will never collude with your smallness. I will never co-sign a contract for you to be less than you are ordained to be. So it says, I won't collude with you in your smallness and your lack and your limitation. I will not co-sign a contract for you to be less than what you can be. And in effect, that's what we're asking for. When we're rejecting the wisdom and the guidance, when we're saying no, when we're not opening up and saying yes, we're asking the universe to collude with us in our narrow thinking. Like, no, not going to do that. The wonderful thing, as it also says in the Sacred Yes, is that it says, I know you think you're tired of waiting on me. But aren't you tired of waiting on you? I don't get tired. I just simply wait. And that's the good news. That's the good news. No matter how many times that you have said no, no matter how many times that you have ignored it, it does not give up on you. It won't stop communicating. It won't stop talking. It won't judge you for all of the times that you didn't listen. It's just like music or love. When you decide to open up yourself to love, love's not going to punish you for all of the times that your heart was hardened. Love just says, welcome home. Glad you made it. Here's a smile for you. Music's not going to deny you, get mad at you for all of the years that you stopped listening to the music, where you couldn't hear the music in your soul because you were so angry or bitter or hurt or sick or weak or whatever. No, 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 no. The music is just waiting for you to hum along whenever you're ready. It doesn't judge you for not being ready. And here's the wonderful thing. And I'm going to leave you with this image. It's a story in the Bible. And it's the story about a man who has a vineyard. And the vineyard is typically symbolic of a place of expansive ideas. The seeds are the beginning, and the grapes, the wine is consciousness. And you can't put new wine into old skins because the wine is effervescent and it grows. And it's saying, come. This guy is going to the marketplace and he's looking for day laborers. Now, they were on a lunar clock. So their day started at 6 a.m. So the 11th hour would have been 5 p.m. And as this story goes, he goes into the marketplace and he tells everybody that he goes to hire not a specific amount, but that they will get their due. So he picks up some people in the first hour, in the 5th hour, in the 8th hour. Some people come in the 11th hour. And each of the workers at the end of the day is given a denarii, which is a coin of the day, which would be equivalent to a whole day's worth of wages. Now, the people who had been there all day, needless to say, they were fit to be tied. We have been here all day long. And here this Johnny come lately is going to come, only been here an hour, and get the same thing that we've gotten? No, that's not fair. And the owner of the vineyard explains, all of this is mine and I will do with it like what I want. And those of you who are complaining, it's like your hearts are too hardened. And this is what it's like in life. It doesn't matter when you show up. You don't get less. You may not have the opportunity to enjoy it as long as the other people, but the love that you get is not second tier. The health that you get is not less than the health of somebody else. The analogy that comes to me is siblings. Okay, if you're 16 and your younger brother is 6, mother doesn't love you more at 16 than she loves the 6-year-old brother. The newborn, you could have a 6-month-old sister. The mother doesn't love that newborn more than you, less than you. You're all sharing in the mother's love. You just have the joy of having been able to experience that love for 16 years. That's all. Not that you have more of it. And here's the twist with this. Jesus is explaining and saying that the first shall be last and the last shall be first. Because this is how it operates. It's that you've had the mother's love longer and you're the firstborn, yes, but you're going to be serving the last one's born. The first shall be last because that's your chart. You have the wherewithal. You have the capacity. And then the last one, the newest born, is first. The newest born, the most vulnerable in the population, like of your family, is the one that everybody's going to be rallying around to protect and to nurture. You say, is that right? Is that fair? You know, it's been here 6 months. Why do they deserve anything? They haven't contributed to Social Security. They haven't paid their dues around here. Why should this 6-month-old be cared for and have everybody fussing over them? It's not the way the universe works. And if you will stop trying to be the judge and the jury, if there's a part of you that stops being bitter at what other people have got or haven't gotten, or stop worrying how much you're going to get now with your yes. Well, how can I say yes now? Life has already passed me by. You will get the same joy, the same abundance, the same goodness, the same faith and hope and resilience and truth and balance and vitality that's available for anybody to get. And even if you don't get it to the 11th hour of your life, so be it. Don't pass up the sweetness of that. And I know I've shared on one of these sermons, and it's coming to me now, of my dad who died at 90. And before he died, his body really started to shut down. He could barely hear. He had a gastro bypass. He could not physically eat. That happened like on his 90th birthday, which seemed cruel to me. But he was being fed intravenously. He literally had become a quadriplegic where he could not move his muscles or his limbs or any of that. And he's recounting all of this and telling us, I can't eat, I can't hear, I can barely see, I can't move my limb, all this stuff. And then these words came out his mouth, and I will never forget. He said, but I'm happy. Oh, I will never forget that. It's 10 years ago, but I will never, ever forget that moment. I never thought, not that he was a bitter man, but I can't ever think of him saying those words. I am happy. I'm proud. I'm grateful, but I am happy. Wow. Even in the midst of all of that, even in the midst, I had a girlfriend of mine that passed away. We were very, very close. In fact, I dedicated my first book, The Sacred Yes, to her. She passed away right about the time that it was first being published. And there was something about life that just seemed to always elude her. Just a beautiful, beautiful person, Pamela. And when Pamela passed, she appeared. One of my colleagues and one of our mutual friends, there was a book on the shelves that she directed my friend to go over and to pick up that book and to flip it open to a specific spot. It was an agape book. We had all been founders, the colleague and I, of original founders of Agape International with Michael Bernard Beckwith. And this was Vision Essence, I think they called it, the book that had affirmations in it from the practitioners. And there was a song that Reverend Michael and Ricky Byers Beckwith had written together. I Am More Than This is the song. And it talks about all these things, the pain of the body and all these different things. And it just keeps saying, I am more than this. Spirit says, come to me. And when my friend goes to my colleague, Reverend Leela Harris, goes and opens up the book, it falls right on. I am more than this. Pam on the other side directed her to that. And suddenly my heart could rest because I knew Pam got it. She got it. That inner voice that we talked about endlessly. I used to stay at her house. I had a key. When I would go to LA, I wouldn't go to the family. I'm going to stay at her house. I am more than this. And she got it on the other side. My dad got it at 90 years old, right before he passed. You'll get it. But wouldn't you like to have it now? Wouldn't you like to enjoy it now? I'm not worried about if you get it or not, because I know you're going to get it this side or the other side. But why don't you treat yourself to getting it now? That voice never, ever, ever means you harm, trust it. Trust it. Let's take this to prayer. Give thanks in this moment for that inner guidance. That voice that knows and it knows that it knows. It is not confused. It's not shut down. It's not bitter or angry, resentful in any way. It's not striving. It's not restless. It's not competitive, argumentative. It's not egocentric. And I give thanks that that inner voice is me. It's me. That it's part of the spiritual DNA that each and every one of us is infused with, imbued with. Part of our genocode, our spiritual genocode. And we listen. We hear, we see it. It speaks to us in so many ways. Maybe it's not linguistic. Maybe it's vibrational. Maybe it's a tone. Maybe it's in signs or season. Maybe it's in movement or body somatic experiences. Oh, but the divine knows how to get the attention of each and every one of us. And we give our undivided attention. Speak to my heart, Holy Spirit. Speak to my heart. Forgive me, forgive our folly when we fail to listen. I'm grateful now for the second chances, the fourth, the 10th, the millionth chances. We pick ourselves up. We dust ourselves off. And we dare to continue on the journey. Heading straight towards grace. Following all the breadcrumbs, going through door number 1 to get to door number 2. Knowing that we are never left to our own devices. Ever. Thank you, Lord. Thank you. So in this moment right now, I am so beyond appreciative. Just ecstatic with all the different ways the divine shows up in my life. As goodness, as grace, as ease, as support, strength and courage, resilience, sustenance, healing, wholeness, compassion, balance, possibilities and opportunities. How the divine shows up as clarity, wisdom, insight, reconciliation, creativity, unbounded joy, and so much more. If I had 10,000 tongues, like the psalmist said, it just wouldn't be enough. This prayer that I pray for myself, I pray for everyone. You may be too tired to hold the high watch. Got you in prayer. Our whole prayer ministry has you in prayer. Sometimes we can't see the light. It looks so dark. We'll keep the light on. knowing that Spirit will guide you back home. We don't judge each other by the things that we've done in our momentary lapse of spiritual amnesia. We won't get into amnesia with you. No spiritual dementia here. We know, and we know that we know that we know, and we stand on what we know. It's good. We get out of the way. We allow it to be. And so it is.
So it is. Amen. What a prayer, eh? A little ditty for you. Something inside is guiding. We must learn to listen and learn to trust. Oh, there is always joy and there is always love. We must learn to listen and we must learn to trust. You have not been abandoned. Are you listening to Spirit? The inner guidance is calling you. Remain willing to hear it. And hindsight is 20/20, you see. So looking back, we always see clearly that something inside is guiding. We must learn to listen and learn to trust. Oh, there is always joy and there is always love. Oh, learn to listen and learn to trust. And sometimes we don't know which voice to hear, but inner guidance is never based on fear. No, there's no panic or drama or neon signs. It is calm and clear, the voice of the divine. Oh, so I say that something inside is guiding. We must learn to listen and learn to trust. Oh, there is always beauty, always wisdom, always joy. Yeah, we must learn to trust. Yeah. It's like an inner GPS redirecting you. It's not turning back, it's just going forward in truth. Is taking you out of your comfort zone. We must practice listening. This is a skill to hone, to own. Yes, something inside is guiding. We must, boy, listen in to the love. Listen in, learn to trust. Tune in, the truth is within. Just tune in. We must trust that voice within. Say, tune in, yeah. Ooh, listen in. We must learn to trust. To trust the inner guidance. We must learn to trust.
Thank you, Amy. Did it again. Just amazing how you can take all the concepts and wrap them together, put a little musical bow on it.
Get to hear the music twice. Get to hear the message twice.
There you go. Yes, I can't wait to get those out into the world. They need to be out there. We're a praying community here. You'll see scrolling across your screen the ways in which you can contact our prayer ministry. We have people who literally have trained for years to be able to do the things that I was talking about, to hear that inner voice, to know, to be able to cooperate it, speak the word, help be that vessel and channel through which the good can flow in, through, and as you, to help be your yes factor in the universe. Please avail yourself of this service. There's no charge. Always accept donations, but it is a gift and it is an offering to you. You can send us an email, the number 4, the word prayer, at innerlightministries.com. You can also call us at 831 465 9090 at extension 254. It's all confidential. Nothing's pad or pre-done. You will get a personalized response, and don't try to go it on your own. And if you want somebody to stand with you in agreement, knowing that wonderful things are unfolding, we would love to be able to do that for you as well. Thank you for that. Speaking of standing together and being there together, I say thank you for joining us on our Sunday morning virtual offerings. Once a month now, in the afternoons on the first Sunday of every month from 3 to 5, we get together in person. So we're going to be doing that next week. If you're looking at this in real time, we'll be doing that the first Sunday in May. You can check things out on our calendar. We have a new location that we're going to start meeting at, the Resource Center for Nonviolence. That's on Ocean, very close to Soquel Avenue, almost on the corner there. You will love the things that we're going to be doing every Sunday, first Sunday of the month. We have access to the kitchen. We have access to the social hall as well as the auditorium. There'll be music and activities, time to get to know each other, to fellowship, to pray. Let's keep the commune in community. So if you're anywhere around, we would love to see you there. And to remind you, another one of our offerings, if you're in the Santa Cruz area, is our food bank, which we are doing in collaboration with Santa Cruz Bible Church on Frederick Street, also near Soquel Avenue, noon on Thursdays. We push out thousands of pounds of food, and it's all farmers market style. So you can pick and choose the fresh fruits or vegetables or packaged goods that you want. You get to self-select. No questions asked. You don't just, it might, take your name and how many people you're picking things up for, just so that there's a record. But don't worry about anything. Don't worry about immigration. Don't worry about anybody following up on you, whether it's for yourself or for somebody else. Please avail yourself of that. We want to always be making a contribution as a spiritual community. Yes, indeed. And speaking of making contributions in spiritual community, this is a time for you to make a contribution to Inner Light Ministries. You will see on your screen that there are numerous ways that you can make a donation, and any and all methodologies are in fact appreciated. There's a QR code that you'll find there. If you use your mobile device, it'll take you to a donation portal. And there you do have an opportunity to say whether you want this to be a recurring gift or a one-time gift. And I encourage you to, in fact, make this a recurring gift. There are lots of things that the money goes to in supporting in terms of healing and growth and transformation. For those of you who continue to be pledge partners, some of you tithe 10% of your whole income. Some people are giving a specific amount, and the amount can be of your choice. Whatever it is that you feel called to do to make sure that this message can get out there in the world and that people are serviced, whatever that is for you, we certainly do appreciate it. And for all of you who are on the online community, be sure to stay in touch with us. Go to our website, check it out, sign up for our communications. We are going to be updating things and letting you know, and we want to make sure that we're able to stay in contact with each other. So we always remind people at the end of our service to take this consciousness, all the things that you're learning here, to take this consciousness and to multiply it. And I am going to invite Amy Steinberg to come back and give us a final offering.
I thought I'd leave us with a classic. This one came to my mind when I was listening to the talk. So I think it's a good one, and you'll know it, so you want to sing along. Love is my decision. It's up to me to give of my heart. Love is my decision, and no one else can tell me to start. And once I decide to change my mind, love will show me how. Love is my decision. It's my decision right here and now. That's right, it's my decision right here and now. Have an amazing week. I love you.